thank you for joining me on my pathway to podiatry. Hey, welcome to another We Want to Know Wednesday video. Today we will be addressing how do you pick your medical school. So I know right now a lot of people are doing their interviews, getting their acceptance letters. Congratulations. If you're really stuck, you don't know which medical school to pick, this video is just to give you some things, to think about or consider when you're making your decision. So I hope that you find this helpful. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't, click that subscribe button. Click the red button down below. Also follow me on my Instagram page. I'll post it right here so you can see. And if you have any additional questions, just please make sure to leave them down in the comment section. So let's get right into this video. First tip that I recommend thinking about is location. And I don't only mean location where the school is, what's around the city, how is it like. I also mean location as in how far is it from your home. Keep in mind that there's only 9 podiatry schools in the whole United States. Do your research on like the weather. Do you like the weather in that area? Do you like the population size, city versus more rural, stuff like that. Just everything about the location. I chose Barrie in Florida, and one of the reasons was the weather, the beaches, things that I don't really get that often where I'm originally from in Massachusetts. Another tip I would say is the success rates of your school. Not only the graduation rates, how many people in the classes do end up graduating versus how many started with the class, but also the success rates of the board exams. So we do take 2 of our board exams while we are in school, and the schools are required to publish the pass rates. So if you see that a school is consistently having good pass rates, that says a lot about how it's helping the students prepare to take the board exams. I would also recommend, if you want to look like at lifelong pass rates, maybe it's more accurate to look at the past couple of year pass rates, just because if you're seeing an upwards trend, if you're seeing so far these past couple of years the school has been having great success rates for their boards, that says a lot of good things, and it's very important to consider. Another tip I would recommend that I didn't really think about prior to entering my medical school is academics and how they outline the classes that you need to take, how many classes they require you to take per semester. Because I know at my school it's not that I can choose, okay, I'm going to take these classes in this time and these classes in that time. Every student in my class takes the same classes every semester, because they have our classes outlined in a timeline of how we have to complete them. I'm not sure if you can have access to that, or you can ask students in the upper classes how they structure their classes. Is it too overwhelming? Are there some semesters that are more loaded than others? Do they offer some time off before the board's exams just so that you have time to prepare? What type of clinical rotations are they having you do? Are they allowing you to go to the emergency room, to radiology? All those things you want to know, like which rotations are they sending you off to? Also, how many externships are you allowed to take in your school, like for your 3rd year? So for those who don't know, externships are basically month-long rotations at residency programs that you're interested in. It's almost like a month-long interview. So it's really important that you get the opportunity to go to a couple that you're interested in. Very specifically, we have 7 months that we can fill up with different externships. So to me, that's a really big pro, that we have 7 different opportunities to go visit programs for a month and show them, what we're made of before all the interviews and stuff like that. Another tip I would recommend is looking at the cost of the school. So if you're someone, who's very conscious of the amount of money that you're taking on in loans and stuff like that, or if you're someone who's going to be paying for school with loans, make sure that you're looking at the cost of the tuition for each of the schools, and also the average cost of living in the area of going to those schools. There are some schools who have very low tuition or somewhat the same tuition as a different school, but their cost of living is very low compared to other schools. So at the end of the day, when you're paying for a school with loans and you're also paying for your cost of living, you'll see that you'll save a lot of money. Going back to the location tip, if you have a school in your area and you can live in your home, like with your parents, you could save a lot of money that way. So that is also a big factor to consider. If you're liking these tips so far and you haven't pressed that thumbs up button, make sure you press it. Another tip that I would recommend considering is just your interview process. How was your interview day? When you went, did you feel comfortable? Did you feel weird? Did you feel out of place? I know it can be hard to think about that experience just because you have a lot of things running through your mind. You may have been very nervous, but when you were visiting the school and you were walking around, could you see yourself studying in their library? Could you see yourself interacting with the other students of the program that you might have ran into? Did they look happy? Did they look stressed? How was your mood? How did you feel the vibe was? I remember that was a big factor for me when I really enjoyed my interview at Berry. It helped me feel very comfortable and I could really easily picture myself going to that school. Another tip is looking at what your campus has to offer. During medical school, we do get a lot of things thrown at us, a lot of material we have to know. So what are things that the campus has to offer? Different places you can pick for food. Is there a gym? Do you have access to a gym? Do you have access to a library? Is your library open for long hours? It was very helpful because we would be able to rent out small study rooms and I can study with my friends. Does it have study rooms that you can rent out and markers that they give you for the whiteboards and things like that? At the end, it's all helpful. The last tip that I have today is the size of the class. You can get this information from the website AACPM and I'll link it down for you in the description just so that you have access to it. But every school has like their demographics, their incoming class size, their tuition costs like on PDF files. If you're someone who cares about having a large class size or a smaller class size to have it more tailored to like one-on-one relationships, getting to know people by their names, stuff like that, it's much easier to do when there's a smaller class versus having a larger class. At the end of the day, all these tips are just things for you to consider and keep in mind that everybody has different likes and dislikes. So think of these things in terms of how you feel about it and what you think would make you the most happy. Remember, you are paying a lot of money to go to these schools and you're picking something that's going to prepare you to become a doctor. It's a very important decision. At the end of the day, all the schools will give you your doctorate degree if you do well and you pass, but why not make it a little more comfortable by having it fit your needs? Those are the tips that I have for you today. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. If you have any other questions about how I chose my school, I did make a video about that and I'll link it right here so that you can check it out and see why and how I chose my school. Good luck to all of you when you're picking your school. Just know wherever you're gonna go is where you're meant to be and it'll be great. Don't be worried, and I'll tune in with you guys in the next one. Bye.